Good afternoon, everyone. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little video for you. Hope you're all doing well. This is the latest rundown of all the latest Manchester United news, and we're just going to be going into some of the sort of transfer links in regards to Ten Hag and who his first signing could be as well, and just covering all the latest goings on at Manchester United today. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for joining us and getting in the live chat. I can see we've got a bunch of legends in here. Mr. Rosh Mano, Flabby G, Talha, Aaron H, Fire Up, Ardy Chico, Joshua Andrews, and everybody else as well. Thank you very much for getting in and joining us today. It's a beautiful day here on the south coast in the UK. Hope you're all good wherever you're at watching. Do us a favour, smash a like button at the start of this video. Give it a cheeky little thumbs up. Share it around on social media if you're that way inclined. And also get yourself subscribed so you can get involved in the live chat, have your say. Fully interactive show this. We do, of course, get in and out of the live chat. So get involved. Get involved if you're in the chat. King Mashi, what's going on? Watching from Jamaica. Shout out to you, bro, in Jamaica. Elliot Manduna, DJ Disco Dave. Great to see you as always, my man. How's it going? Thank you, Rushborough. Get in, Miz 528, and everybody else. Thanks for joining. So, the latest United news, really well. Rangnick's done a presser earlier on today. So let's just cover that at the start of this video. And we're going to get into some of the sort of transfer news and speculative links and more bits of information and news that we've got in regards to players coming in for Ten Hag. But right now, Rangnick has basically revealed his thoughts on Ten Hag speaking earlier today. And he said this. He said, "We don't know each other in person. We haven't met as of yet in person. But from what I've seen him do at Bayern Munich when he was the under-23 coach and at Ajax, I like his football, and I'm pretty positive that with a full pre-season, with having the chance to build and mould his own staff, also a new team, which is obvious, we will need a new team. With a full pre-season, I'm pretty sure we'll see a different team and improvement on the pitch." You got to love a bit of Ralph Rangnick, don't you? I love it. He keeps playing the Glazers cards for them here in a lot of ways. And he's just, obviously it's true, we do have a lot of players going out, but he has been quite vocal for somebody in that position to be saying, we need 10 players, and we need a whole new team, and all this stuff. You got to love a bit of Ralph Rangnick action, really, don't you? Let's get a cheeky little hashtag R&R in the live chat. Fair play to him, because he could be somebody, especially in a consultancy role, that's overseeing a lot of these players outs and a lot of these players ins, or certainly having some sort of a advisory role, just helping Ten Hag and helping the team out to decide who should we get rid of and who could we maybe bring in to improve certain areas of the team. So yeah, Ralph Rangnick, I love the fact that he's been doing that and saying just his true mind, not been filtering anything really, just saying that, yeah, United are crap right now, Liverpool years ahead, and we need to get all sorts of new players in because we've got a whole bunch of gash players at the club, basically is what he said. Yeah, well, Fire Up thinks that he loves Maguire. He does seem to play Maguire a lot. No idea why. Hopefully he drops him now, mate. But you're absolutely right, mate. You're absolutely right. Anyway, so he said, he went on to say, with a full preseason, I'm pretty sure we'll see a different team and improvement on the pitch. I knew that Eric was one of the candidates the board spoke to, and obviously I told them, at least from what I had seen and knew from what people who had worked with Eric, that I think he would be a good choice. And I still believe he'll be a very, very good choice. All of the other things we haven't had time to speak about, so obviously lots of things in regards to transfers and stuff, but he did say this. He said, it's obvious there are quite a few players whose contracts are expiring. There might be a few others who, although they still have contracts, are on loan, might still want to be on loan or leave the club. So he's referring to people like Tony Martial there, maybe Twente, be a couple of players that could be sold in the summer. So, yeah, just Rangnick just saying how it is, really. He says it will be a significant change and a rebuild is necessary. That's clear. But how many players and which positions? I haven't spoken to Eric in person as of yet. But if he asked me for my opinion in person, I'm ready and willing to speak to him about my experience. He will have his own ideas. It's not 3 or 4 players. It's obvious, bearing in mind how many contracts are expiring. So he's just laying the smack down here, saying how it is. Lots of players leaving, some other players who are just gash and need to be sold, and some players who also just want away. There's, Matic has revealed he's leaving in the season there. Mata's probably going to be going. Cavani's leaving. Lingard's leaving. Pogba's leaving. And maybe a couple of other players leaving too. So lots of players going out this summer. Lots of players coming in this summer. And that's basically what Ralph Rangnick has said. He's pretty much laid it out for the Glazers to play it out now. They've got to spend the money. They've got to back Eric Ten Hag, big styly, and give him a huge investment in this window in particular, just to get him all the players that he needs to actually make a decent challenge, or not necessarily a challenge. I'm not saying it's going to challenge for anything, but just to make a challenge at the job, because it's a really tough job, and to try and instill his players, instill the philosophy and everything into players, is going to take time to get the players out. He needs time. But there you go. That's Rangnick's what he said on Erik ten Hag. Seems pretty clear to me. He feels like he would be a good appointment for the club. He likes the style of football that he plays, and he obviously believes that it's a full rebuild job that's necessary. And for that reason, Ten Hag's obviously going to need quite a bit of time. Hey, it's Neil Duffin. What's going on? The pantomime horse has hopefully left the building. There you go, Neil Duffin. Are you talking about Paul Pogba or somebody else? Hey, Rushmano, thank you so much for the like update. He says we've got 46 likes on the stream, guys. Thank you so much for everyone who smashed the like button. Do drop a like if you haven't done, and hit that sub and get yourself involved in the chat. Anthony as right wing, Calvin Phillips DM, and Rudiger as centre back. Oh, DJ Ayush, you're making me moist, lad. No, it does. That does sound pretty good, man, for what Manchester United need, right? We're going to get into more of that in a moment. Okay, so just to be clear, so yeah, this is a little quote from him. I'll pop it up on the screen here, as you can see. Rangnick on Ten Hag. I like his football. I'm pretty positive that with a full pre-season and having a chance to build and mould his own staff and new team, it will be all good. Okay, let's talk about Paul Pogba. Let's talk about Paul Pogba, guys. Yeah, Neil Duffin says Pogba. Let's talk about Paul Pogba. I thought you meant that because obviously the news has come out today, of course, from Ralph Rangnick's presser that Paul Pogba's likely to not feature for Manchester United again this season. Bye-bye! But no, in all fairness, it does seem like he's not going to play again. I don't know if it's necessarily a long-term injury. Maybe it's an injury, but just the fact that, well, he's not really going to feature. He's not going to be back to full fitness. Well, there's only 5 games left. Probably won't really play again. But this is what Ralph Rangnick had to say. It's very unlikely, at least, not necessarily 100% ruled out, but it is very unlikely that he will play again for Manchester United this season. He got obviously that calf injury at that game against Liverpool in the first few minutes, or however long it was, wanted to get sacked off for Jesse Lingard. Maybe it's genuine injury. No, I'm not saying that it's not a genuine injury, but to be fair, it does say on manunited.com that scans have since shown that the injury is set to keep the former academy product out of action for around a month. So I don't think that would be the case. You know, they've done scans. It's obviously legit. So fair play to Paul Pogba, man. I mean, look, that's what it seems to be the case. We don't know. Maybe this is just PR spin to suggest that this is actually legit the case. But hey, I don't know. I'm not saying that. But with 5 games to go, it seems like he won't be involved in it at all. He said this, with Paul, it seems after the scan we did yesterday, or the day before yesterday, it's very unlikely he will play until the end of the season again. He said in the presser, he said, the doctor told me that it would take 4 weeks minimum for him to recover. And since the last game is at the end of May, I don't think it's very likely that he will be able to play again. So there you go, guys. Pogba out. Hashtag Pogba out. He is out of the team and he's not going to be playing again for United this season. His contract's up in the summer. It would take an absolute Egypt man to want to sign Paul Pogba up to a new contract at Man United. So he's probably going to go to Juventus, PSG's maybe more likely, Real Madrid, one of these sorts of teams, for a big money move on a free transfer. That's the most likely outcome. So it does seem like Paul Pogba has maybe played his last game for Manchester United. Nah. Wave goodbye. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but, you know, good riddance in a way, guys, because he's really not played very well for Manchester United over those 6 years for somebody of his stature who's supposed to be this great player, who is great for France, who was great for Juve, but really has never truly turned up on a consistent basis for United. It's a shame. We know he's got the talent. He seems a good character. He likes to laugh. He's a decent. I'm not slating him off the pitch. I'm just saying on the pitch for Manchester United, he's absolutely bang average. So yeah, it doesn't really bother me to say that he won't play again for Manchester United this season. And if he does go in this summer on a free transfer, then it won't bother me in the slightest. Hey, Sev the Panda, how the devil are you, mate? Great to see how you've been. Thank you so much, Sev the Panda, for the 500 rupee super chat, mate. Can we get a super chat emoji in the live chat there for Sev the Panda? Thank you very much, Sev the Panda. He says, love the videos. Thank you so much, Sev. Thanks for the support there, bro. And the positive vibes. Love that, Sev the Panda. Thank you very much, man. So, yeah, back onto Pogba. Thank you, Sev, there. Pogba has made 27 appearances this term for United, so quite a few. And he obviously has not had a bad statistical return. If you look at how many assists he's registered, he's got 9 assists in 20 Premier League outings since August. Pretty damn good, lad. Pretty damn good. 4 of them were against Leeds, in that battering at the start of the season. So is that, he's only got 6 since then. Sorry, 5 since then. But it doesn't impress me much, guys, because 4 of those did come in one game. And then since then, he's kind of had a couple of good games here and there, he has done. But he's also been more or less bang average most of the time. So there you go. Paul Pogba is likely to leave in the summer. He's out of contract. He's injured. He's probably never going to play again. I'm just going to duck into the live chat for a couple of minutes before we get on to the next topic. Just see what your guys' reaction is to, this Paul Pogba stuff. The fact that he's not going to realistically play ever again for Manchester United unless Man United do the unthinkable and sign him up to a new deal, which in my opinion would just be absolute madness. He won't be missed, says Kingslayer. Couldn't get in the stream last night, says Big Bear. Hey, Big Bear, what's going on, mate? You're at a tournament, but I'm getting. Hey, I hope you did. I hope you smashed up. How'd you get on? Nice one, Big Bear. Well, yeah, we'll be back on the FIFA tonight. Yes, we're gonna be talking about Rudiger in just a minute. Actually, Pricey MEFC. I just want to talk about Rangnick's what he said, today, and a couple of things, and then we're gonna absolutely get onto the centre back information. You think Pogba's time is finished, says Aaron H. I think so too, yeah, that'll be probably it. He might get a final swan song end of the season, maybe, if that Crystal Palace game, if he's fit by then. Maybe he'll get substituted on or something if he's actually in the playing squad, if he's fit enough. But chances are he won't be fit enough. I mean, he does deserve that, to be fair. He does deserve a send-off. I don't think many people will remember his time at Manchester United as, a great legendary time. He has won some trophies at Manchester United. When Jose was here, we had a little successful spell, really, in terms of Mickey Mouse trophies. He's won a few things. So it's not exactly like he deserves no credit whatsoever, but it's just that he has been an average player for us. That's the reality. Of all the great players that have played for Manchester United and of all the people that have fought tooth and nail for this club, he's pretty much, bang average in the list, really, if not slightly lower down. So, we just got to be realistic and say that, yeah, it's probably good for us that he's going, good for us to move on and hopefully get a new player in. Yeah, that's right, J. King, my son. Fergie saw through him. Well, Anthony, yeah, Fergie didn't think that he was the right sort of player or character maybe for the squad. But then again, obviously Fergie maybe did have some sort of a say in, well, maybe not too much, but had a vote at least on Pogba coming back to the club. William Kelly says Pogba, see ya. Neil Duffin says Pogba has the fitness of a tortoise and a handbrake. So, good night, Pogba. He says, yeah, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. I get it. He just seems to be like a Hollywood player to me. Sometimes he's brilliant. Sometimes he can play those absolutely sensational games, but it's few and far between. And he is just, in my opinion, looking for a big money move. He's got that grubby agent, Mino Rioli's absolute pie finger in melt. And, of course, he's just going to try and get them the most money wherever they can, whether it's at PSG, whether it's at Juventus, whether it's at Real Madrid, whether it's at looking Guangdong, Zhou, or whoever's got the fucking money. I'm sure they'll go there. But I don't really know. What's going to happen with Paul Pogba, where he's going to end up. My guess would be PSG. Let me ask the live chat. Where do you think Paul Pogba starts his football at the start of the new season? Hey, Rush Mano, thank you for the £5 super chat. Let's get a sue in the chat there for Rushy. He says Pogba's moaning that United hasn't met his expectations, but still thinking of a signing of a new contract. Mino at his best. Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? How could we justify giving Paul Pogba a new contract right now? It just wouldn't make sense. For a start, we have to get players in that we, actually going to battle for United. I don't think he's that sort of player. He jogs around. We call him Paul Jogba for a reason, don't we? He saunters around the pitch. Ten Hag might want him. Let's just think about Ten Hag for a second. He's got a big influence on this now. If he really loves Paul Pogba for some reason, he's a big Pogba fan, maybe he could have that conversation and say, let's give him a cheeky little chance. But I doubt it. I very much doubt it because his impact, his input into the club is not warranting of £300,000 a week. Maybe we could sign Paul Pogba up if there was no offers on the table for him. From PSG, Real, Juventus, and it might be worth us signing him up for 200 grand a week. He is a high-profile player, but I personally think we should just get rid and move on and start a new era at Manchester United and not have any of these lingerers around that have failed us for all these years anymore. We need a new, fresh start, in my opinion. But I could see a world where if Paul Pogba wanted to take a pay cut, it might make sense for Manchester United, but that's not going to happen, is it? He will actually be quite, sought after in the summer, I think, because for a start, he's a huge player for France. He's got a massive following. He's basically a brand, isn't he, Paul Pogba? He's a hugely followed guy. And because of that, that sort of brings interest. But also, he is a good player. And in the right league, not the Premier League, in the right league, I think, yeah, he could probably do really, really good stuff still. So, yeah, if you're PSG, Real Madrid, Juventus, one of these sorts of teams, you would be interested in Paul Pogba for the right price. And they would be prepared to pay quite a lot of money for his wages. Probably more than Manchester United can pay even right now. Because there's no transfer fee involved at the start of it. And, of course, Mino Raiola needs paying quite a lot. And Pogba needs to sign an on fee, but it's still a cheaper deal than going to sign somebody for 50 million and then having to do that as well. So I do think that, Pogba is probably going to go, and he's probably going to have the pick of a bunch of clubs to go to, in my opinion, because he is a good player, but he's just not good for United. Yeah, that's right. Dave Keaton says United bought those dud players. He's had too many chances, says Fire Up. Fire Up says, I agree, start a new era. Pogba has failed here. It would be nice to get a lot of new players in. 5 new players in, and then also bring a few youngsters through, and that's it. Fresh era. It's like a new turn the page over. Eric Ten Hag's the new manager. Okay, we still got the same shitty owners. Get a couple new coaches in and stuff. It would be a new era, fresh start, fresh season. It would feel like a new era if we had half a whole new team. That's what we need to do. So yes, I agree. I don't really want to see Pogba sticking around, even if the price was right. In all fairness, just because, well, what's he going to do for us? He's just probably going to continue to do what he's done for years, which is be bang average, mediocre cash. Hey, we got 69 likes on the stream, guys. 69 dudes. Thank you for joining, everyone, and dropping the like. The K Cadet says Pogba's best destination for the money is demanding as Man United. Unfortunately, which makes me immensely worried he'll end up staying. Interesting. So you think he's more likely to get bigger money from Man United than any other team? I think that's probably true apart from PSG. I think PSG might look at the deal and go, well, he's a France international. It's a fucking farmers league anyway. Like, Paul Pogba can definitely play well week to week in a fucking farmers league against pitchfork wielders. So he's going to be absolutely fine in the French league week to week, really. He's a big name. He's a big brand. He sort of fits in with the whole, what's the word, like, I don't know, big ego prima donna melt sort of setup. They've got a PSG there, in my opinion. So maybe it would make a little bit of sense. That's the only way. That's the only reason I think PSG, because they're willing to spend huge amounts of money on players. They spend hundreds of thousands of pounds a week on wages. I mean, I dread to think what Lionel Messi's on. Somebody remind me. But they spend, and Neymar and Mbappe, and come on. I mean, if any of those players go as well, they've got loads of free money that they're going to be able to spend elsewhere. So. Average gash, says Anthony. Pogba's wages is worth 2 players. Precisely, Gabriel Nelson. You can just get 2 really good players for what he's being paid. He's not worth 2 players. Flabby G, how are you today? Says, hell yeah. Ten Hag's Reds, what's going on, mate? Thanks for getting in the chat. He says, I don't think Eric would want Paul to stay, because if Paul and co leave, he'll be worth north of 150 to 200 million to spend in the window. Thoughts? Good shout, yeah. Free up some more wages off the books, and with Cavani off the books and a bunch of other players that are going off the books, yeah, we've got loads of money freed up, which he can then reinvest in other areas of the team. So I couldn't agree more, mate. Godstrugger says pitchfork wielders. Well, I've got a combine harvester. What's the French for? I've got a brand new combine harvester, guys. Anyway, that's what's going on over there, mate. It's just an absolute bunch of straw chewers in the farmers league over there, guys. They sit around with their straw hats and chewing their straw, knocking a ball around. I mean, anybody can do well over there. So I think Paul Pogba would probably have a good time of it over there. Maybe not in the Champions League, but certainly there's all those great high-profile players there. He'd get a lot of time on the ball. Most of the teams are shite that he's playing week to week. He'd revel in it over there, I think. So I think they would want him. I think he would want to go. He's a Frenchman at the end of the day. He is French. He is from France. So it does make a lot of sense for him to represent or be in the team that is the main team in France, does it not? Especially when they've got the most money to spend. So I think it does make sense that Paul Pogba's going to end up going there. Pogba needs to go, says Lyndon. Any team with any sense would not take on Pogba, says Philip Chapman. I agree. I mean, not for the sort of money that he's paid. Aaron says, chuck a like for the pig. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, let's get this puppy to 100 likes if you're just joining us. Turnip lickers, says Rushmano. Dutch league is a cheesemakers league, says Dave Keating. Well, I think it's a bit of a better standard, though, than the French league. I'm going to be honest. Okay, maybe PSG are a better team because they've got all that money. They've got a Galactico team. But other than that, you look at the Dutch league. I mean, they've got a good few teams that do quite well. Ajax, Feyenoord, PSG Eindhoven. Yeah, they've got some decent standard sides. Maybe, okay, they've only got one sort of proper Champions League side as well, which I guess is Ajax. So it's quite similar. Quite similar. Quite similar. Okay, so let's get into the rest of the news then, guys. Thank you everyone for getting in, by the way. Loving your banter today. So yeah, Paul Pogba is probably going to go. This is also what Rangnick said about a couple of other things. He said he was asked, given the recruitment of some United rivals, also given the new manager is now public, will the focus now shift towards player recruitment, exits and loans? He says, I don't know. This is a question you have to ask the board. My focus is on the last remaining games and getting the best out of those games. For the recruitment process, you have to ask questions about that. It's better that you speak to the board. So keeping his cards quite close to the chest on, you know, what's going on in regards to player recruitment. But he said what his thoughts are, that United need all these players. You know, so he's definitely keen on it. And also in terms of involvement and getting Ten Hag in, he was involved in it. He said, well, I knew that Eric's one of the candidates the board spoke to, and he told them, at least from what he'd seen and known from people who work with Eric, that he thinks he would be a good choice. You know, and he still believes he'd be a very good choice. So given his thoughts on that. In terms of absentees for tomorrow's game, we are going to do a proper preview later, but just a little bit of information. He said Scott McTominay will be back and fit to play. He's been training with us and will train today, so he'll be available. The same is true of Rafael Varane, and obviously Cristiano Ronaldo is available again. He has been training with us. So get in there, my son. Sue! We're going to smash up the Arsenal Hollands. Ronaldo double Sue! Can we get a cheeky little Sue in the chat, please? And love hearts for Cristiano Ronaldo. What a strong individual coming back already to play for Manchester United. What a legend, man. Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's get those Ronaldo emojis in there. Love that guy. Fucking love that guy. And he's back with us. And, of course, we saw what a miss he was last time in the game against Liverpool. I mean, even if we had him, we would have still got absolutely battered. But at least he brings you that leadership and might snag you a goal or something just from individual brilliance. He's a match winner end of the day. So we need him in the side. We need to get him the ball. And hopefully he will do the rest. That's all we really need to do. This team is shit. Just give it Cristiano. That's what I would say to all the players. Stop being a bunch of melts. Just give it Cristiano. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Sort your pound and internet out, says Aaron H to Kate Cadet. Nice. So there you go. A little bit of information there. Ronaldo back. Come on. Chico Goblin says CR7 to score at her hat-trick. Maybe Chico Goblin. We'll see, mate. Ronaldo is a professional, says God Struggler. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Okay. So, yeah, he talked a bit about Arteta and stuff. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. We're going to get into some of the other news in regards to players coming in and stuff. So, guys, it looks like there's a lot of information about Manchester United and who we need to bring in this summer. And we are lining up defenders to be coming in. It looks like we're definitely going to sign a centre-back. In fact, some reports come out saying that it's likely Ten Hag's first signing will be a centre-back with a bunch of names on the short list. The main few names are in the title of this video, and you can see we've got players such as Pau Torres linked, who's obviously at Villarreal, and he's of course been linked with Man United for a couple of seasons now. He's had a good season as well again, and definitely a good talent, young player, but the right sort of age, not too young, developing and only getting better. Spanish international, all the rest of it makes a lot of sense. Might be available for quite a bit of money though, 45-50 million pounds. But a good player, no doubt. He's on the list for Ten Hag to be coming in. We've also got more information on other players such as Akanji. Apparently, he's on the shortlist over at Dortmund as well. Akanji. So yeah, obviously another good player, another player that's been linked to Manchester United. We've also got links with, of course, Jurriën Timber over at Ajax, who's of course working under Ten Hag at the moment and has had a decent season and played a lot of games and looks like a good option. It depends on what Ajax, want to do, and it also depends on what Ten Hag thinks is his best option there. Is this guy ready to come in and do it in the Premier League? In fact, I saw some of Ruud Gullit's comments recently, a couple of days ago, where he's talking about it, and he said maybe he doesn't think that Timber is ready for the Premier League. So there you go. I mean, but obviously, it depends on what Ten Hag wants to do. So we've got a little shortlist there, guys, of players. And we've also got Antonio Rudiger, right, which is obviously the main thumbnail for this video as well. And the reason for that is because he's been quite heavily linked with a move away from Chelsea this summer. There could be some sort of agent speculation, agent talk. And as you can see today, just a couple of hours ago, there was a post by Antonio Rudiger's agent, which is just maybe a feather to the ball bag, just tickling us here maybe. But let's have a little look at it. This is his agent, by the way. His name is Saif Ruben. And he said, he's put a picture of Sir Alex with these celebrating after some sort of trophy win there with the bottles of champagne. And it says, let's see if I can help revive this sleeping giant. Hashtag glory, glory. Okay. Quite interesting. Quite interesting because this guy represents Antonio Rudiger. He represents these guys too. But the most notable one on the list, as you can see here, is Antonio Rudiger. Okay? So, read into this what you will. It could just well be agent spin. Let's face it, there's talk of him wanting to maybe sign a new deal at Chelsea or possibly move away to a different club as well. So this could just be some sort of agent spin. So, let's not start getting too carried away. But it does seem like he's on the short list of players as well. He was talked about a couple of weeks ago when it was, obviously being discussed that maybe Rudiger was looking to go elsewhere. His contract's up in the summer. He'd be available on a free, which makes him, in my opinion, centre-back priority signing number one. So we've got a short list of 4 players that we've discussed there. The reason I say he's number one, well, he is available for free for a start. That means you could spend monies elsewhere in the team. It also means, he's got Premier League experience, which is big in my opinion. You can't really dispute the fact that Premier League experience is important. And a lot of these other guys that we're talking about don't have that Premier League experience. He does have that Premier League experience. He's in his prime as well. He's an athletic, quick player, much better than someone like the likes of Slappington Maguire. And so for that reason, I think that's exactly who we should be going for, is trying to sign him because he's on a free. We should try and bend over backwards to sign him. Ordinarily, I'd say, hey, it doesn't make sense for us to really spend big, try and convince someone to come at this moment because we need to sign younger, hungrier players who are going to, fight tooth and nail for Manchester United. We don't want to fall into the trap that we have done of just signing players and giving them massive wages and, just because we want to get them and stop them going somewhere else. We don't really want to do that. But at the same time, he is a really good option. He is free. And he is obviously maybe leaving in the summer. So let's just get on to the Rudiger informazione that we've got here then. So actually, let me just make that a bit bigger for anybody that can see it. I'll get rid of that. But those are the players that he represents. And then let's just get that a little bit bigger so people can see what's going on. Hey, Ellie, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for getting in here. And Paul Story as well. Skeptic, Pete Morris, Mateus Cruz, Sophia Key, Anthony Kaufman, Malps. Guys, everyone, thank you for joining us. Do smash that like button on the stream. Hit the subscribe. Get yourself involved. We just hit 55.2k subs. Get in there, my son. Help us get to 60k. But let's also just cover this very quickly. So Rudiger is being linked to Manchester United. Chelsea have sort of understood to hit a kind of a little bit of a roadblock at the moment with him in regards to new contract discussions. But we'll have to see. I mean, there's so many different players linked, so I could only fit so many in the top of the title bar there. But also, you've got other players linked, such as maybe Jules Koundé, De Ligt, even Matthias De Ligt has emerged. So, so who knows? There's so many different options and so many different players that Man United should be in the market for. But Antonio Rudiger's contract is up at the end of the season, and so for that reason, we should do our very best to sign him. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you agree with me. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know. In fact, I'm going to do a little poll. Let's get a poll on the go because we've got 4 players there. So if we have a cheeky little look at, what's going on with the 4 players, you guys can let us know. So who should we sign? Who should we sign? Let's see what you guys think. So we've got those 4 players. Rudiger, we've got Akanji. I'll just put those 4 on from the... we've got also... Timber is an interesting option over at Ajax because you've got that Ten Hag connection. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to ask the community, guys, please do get involved in the vote. There's a cheeky little poll that's just going to pop up in the live chat. Have a vote. Who should we sign? In terms of a centre-back in the summer, who would you most like to see come in? Bearing in mind, there's going to be price tags for the other players, such as Pau Torres, could be £50 million you might have to spend to get somebody like that in. Rudiger's free. Let's know what you guys think. Do have a vote and say. Hey, Ken Monologues, I'm doing good. Thank you very much for asking me. I hope you're doing well today as well. Get in there, you Don. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so yeah, lots of players linked. We've even had links with Sergio Ramos, guys. Sergio Ramos, so PSG apparently want Sergio Ramos to leave the club this summer. And he's been told he's no longer in the club's plans. I don't know if that's 100% true, but it does seem like that is what's been reported from France. He failed to make a Champions League appearance for them and has also struggled for fitness generally. But I don't really think that anybody really thinks that necessarily is a good idea. Although he has had that partnership with Rafael Varane. He's 36. I wouldn't do it, guys. It's not a right thing for us to do. You know, you've seen United sign an old player in the past for a season and have good effect. Something like Laurent Blanc. Laurent Blanc, you know, he came in, he was maybe he wasn't quite 36. Was he? I think he was 35 though, or maybe 34. He was pretty old, but he came in and had a really good season for us, I remember. So, you know, there is hope for players like that. You look at Thiago Silva at Chelsea. Thiago Silva's had a really good time of it at Chelsea. You could argue, well, they signed him when he was 35. Does that make a lot of sense? Well, it did for them. I'm not, and then you've also got Ramos and Varane together. But listen, he's 36. We do need a fresh era at Manchester United. We need to start a new era, not just going to go get a load of old sort of over-the-hill players. He is a good player still, and I'm sure he'd be decent for us, but, you know, I don't really like him. Plus, he's a bit of a hothead. He's a bit of a liability, but then he's a great leader. I mean, nobody can deny that Sergio Ramos is one of the best Spanish centre-backs of all time, really. He's a fantastic player. And he even used to play, you know, right back, and he takes penalties and all sorts. He was just a good footballer, right? Score a lot of headers and stuff. But anyway, I personally don't think that it would make sense for us to sign him. Yeah, injury prone, says J King. Let's get a vote in the live chat. Would you sign Sergio Ramos? Yes or no? Would you sign Sergio Ramos on a free in the summer? Yes or no? Just a bit of fun, isn't it? We don't need that guy. But hey, look, he had that partnership with Varane. He's decent. Yeah, Chico Goblin says, would be better to get Pau Torres. Yeah, precisely. We can easily get rid of 10 and bring in 10, says Andrikos. I'm with you, mate. No excuses this summer. So much money's going to be saved this summer on wages alone. If Pogba goes, Lingard goes, Martial maybe goes, Cavani goes, Matic goes, Mata goes, Bailly goes, Maguire hopefully goes. How much is that? It's over £1 million a week you're saving right there, just right there. Oh, yes, you can justify going to spend that elsewhere, absolutely. But anyway, so it looks like Rudiger is high on the list for Manchester United, but again, he's also high on the list for other people. We got an update from Fabrizio Romano as well, which just gives us, this was actually at midnight last night. So, you know, obviously before any of this business has come out in regards to his agent, etc. But he does say Antonio Rudiger will decide his future in the coming weeks. He's waiting for Chelsea. He's been more than respectful, but there's still no change. Real Madrid have never been out of the race, always in contact. Paris Saint-Germain and Juventus are pushing. It's still open. What I do not like about that update is that Manchester United are not involved in that sentence, and that pisses me off, because really United should be all over that shit trying to sign Antonio Rudiger, mate, on a free, if it was possible to do. Now, the only question mark is about Manchester United and signing a player like Antonio Rudiger, and this is going to be a big question mark for signing a lot of players in this summer transfer window, actually, is can Manchester United get Champions League football? Because that is a big factor to a lot of players. And you maybe have to question players who would go from a Champions League team, or who could go to a Champions League team, that don't go to a Champions League team. Maybe they're just going for the money. Is that really what you want to do? He is a good player, but we want to be getting somebody definitely for the right reason. But at the same time, look, we need to get, if we did get Champions League football, I suppose it would just increase our chances of getting a signing like that. So he might not even be considering Manchester United right now, because let's face it, Man United do not have top four. We don't have top four sewn up. We don't, not even remotely. It's quite unlikely we're going to get top four. We could do it. We have to beat Arsenal tomorrow. We have to beat Chelsea. And we basically got to win all of our games. Maybe we could get away with one draw if you know, Tottenham melt it up big time. But I think we got to win the majority of our games, if not all of the games, to stand a chance. So, but it does make things absolutely wide open if we beat Arsenal and Chelsea. If we could do that somehow and pull off some sort of Ralphie Rangnick miracle, then of course it does mean that we could be right in the top four race again. Which is exciting, but we actually have to smash Arsenal up first tomorrow, which is just obstacle number one of many obstacles. But Antonio Rudiger, his possible interest in signing for a club like us does depend on whether he gets Champions League football. So Manchester Evening News claim that Rudiger is looking for a move to a team that have a place in Europe's elite competition next term. And of course, we've reportedly started exploratory talks with the centre-back, but there is little expectation that he will join us because at the moment in time, we don't actually have any Champions League football, So that is the big question mark. That's the problem, guys. That is the problem. That's why it's so important to get Champions League football, because you are going to miss out on a certain quality of player who only wants to play in the Champions League. Even Ronaldo might be out the door if we don't have Champions League football, and you can't really blame him because he's got a finite time left on his career. He needs to be playing Champions League football. He's got 1 or 2 seasons left, maybe at most, to try and win that competition. And even if it's not about winning the competition, it's about adding to his tally of goals and adding to his legacy in that competition. I'm sure he wants to do that. I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo, even at 37, winding down his career, wants to play in the shitty Conference League or the shitty Europa League. So it's absolutely imperative United would get top 4. It's not looking likely at the moment. Let's ask the live chat, guys. Where are you going? Where do you think Man United finish this season? Let me know. I'm saying 5th, sadly. I think we finish behind Spurs. I reckon we do Arsenal, Neil Duffin says, Don Piglioni and Duffinio centre-backs. Hey, we do a decent job, Neil, compared to those fucking melts this season, Neil. I don't see how we could do any worse, bud. Fire Up says Rudiger and Varane or Maguire and Lindelof. Okay, so, yeah, he looks set to leave Chelsea as a free agent. His contract's expiring in June. He's been linked with moves to other clubs. But the thing is, as we've just said there, his agents put that out and stuff. And it's very tempting, it's very teasing. But it's very shithouse as well. Like, if you're that agent, you're a bit of a shithouse, aren't you? That's quite disrespectful to Chelsea because it does insinuate, well, yeah, we're talking to United here, and maybe it does insinuate that. Maybe it's not about that player, and you can't really pinpoint it. Yeah, you can't prove and say that's definitely what he's on about. But it's just alluding to the fact that, yeah, he could be talking to Manchester United about Rudiger. So maybe it's just literally putting him and his client in a position where they've got a strong situation where, hey, look, we're talking to all these clubs. There's clubs that are interested in us. If you don't give us what we want, we are going to walk. I would not be surprised at all if Rudiger ends up at signing a new contract at Chelsea and not leaving as a free agent in June. But there is a little X factor here, guys. What the fuck is going on at Chelsea? Roman Abramovich obviously gone. They've got all these bids for new owners and all the rest of it. There's a little bit of upheaval. It's a bit up in the air there at Chelsea. It's just a bit of a shithouse moment for them. They're still doing well with Tuchel. They've got a good squad of players. That's not going anywhere overnight. But maybe there will be a few departures in the summer from their current playing squad of players who are just like, you know what, fuck these guys. maybe that will happen. So I hope that we could sign a player like Rudiger because I think he is a good standard player. He's a much better standard for us than I think Harry Maguire would be. And certainly as well for maybe a Ten Hag system for, we need a bit more pace, man. Maguire's as slow as a damn slug. It really is. Okay, so Chelsea, yeah, and we're looking to strengthen our backline as soon as possible. So because of that, he is heavily linked at the moment, guys. He's heavily linked, but he will decide on his future soon, it seems. Chelsea may well, table another big offer for him. We'll have to wait and see. Right, let's just get into the live chat real quick, then I'll get on to the next topic. I've got a few more things to get into today. Hope you're enjoying the show, guys. We just smashed 100 likes on the stream. Thanks for the support. Thank you everyone hitting the like. Help us compete with the clickbait merchants, the charlatans, the shithouses, the corporations, the wankers, and the pricks. By just joking. By smashing that like button, and also get yourself involved in the chat now with your thoughts and opinions about Rudiger real quick. So let's see what you guys are saying. Agents are ruining football. You're so right, mate. You are so right, boss. Oh, we've got a Rudiger update from Rush Barney. Let's have a look at this. Oh, okay. So, interesting. Oh, okay. It could actually be bullshit then. I don't know. That's quite interesting. So that could actually be bullshit. So interesting. So Christian Falk from Bild in Germany has come out and said that not true. He's not a Manchester United for a transfer of Rudiger. Sanisi is the only agent who works on the future of Rudiger. That's quite interesting then. So he's basically said, so there were reports from United Report earlier on Twitter and various different sources that this guy, is the agent for him and stuff. So I don't really know. Somebody's just discredited that though on social media. Thank you very much for the update. We like to give you all the 100% open, honest truth here. So maybe that is just absolute bollocks. But of course, he has been linked to Manchester United. He has been linked to various other clubs, and it does look like he might leave Chelsea. But also, it might be the situation where he's just trying to get more money at Might just get more money at, there. So this is what I'm talking about, this thing here. That might just be a bollocks. but it was all over some reputable Man United sources earlier on. So there you go. But Antonio Rudiger will decide his future in the coming weeks. That's the update from Fab, who is most definitely a reliable source. I'd take Rudiger too, J-Bud MUFC, absolutely. That's the thing, though. There will be a host of clubs wanting to take him, most of which I'd imagine Chelsea. Why would they let somebody like that go on a free when they could try and give him a big money deal? They got the money even... Well, actually, they might not have the money. Actually, they might not have the money, mate. We'll have to wait and see. So, we'll have to wait and see in regards to that one. Right, let's have a look at the vote, guys. See what you guys have said real quick in regards to who we should actually bring in. Okay, that's actually quite interesting. So, so most of the people in the live chat have voted that 53% would go for Rudiger. 53% of the live chat would go for Antonio Rudiger. That's quite interesting, man. I guess that's because he's available for free, though. Maybe if you had to pay 50 or 60 million for him, like the other players, maybe he wouldn't have that higher percentage of the vote. But I do think he's the best option because of that, guys. I think Man United should do absolutely everything we can to try and get him. If there's talks, as you can see, with other clubs that are supposed to be in contact, you can see by Fab's tweet there, Man United is not listed, and that's what pisses me off about this. United need to be acting now. To be fair, we've had to wait until we've announced a new manager and got a new manager in to decide what he wants to do. They have to have those conversations. You can't just be going to sign players. So I get it. So I'm just hoping that Ten Hag does have some interest in this guy because of the fact he's available for free. Seamus Moore says, now Rudiger is money hungry. Maybe, yeah. Oh, Folk is really close to Rudiger, says Rushmano. Okay, well, thank you very much for the update there. That's very good stuff, Rushmano. So sounds like that could be absolute bollocks then. But hey, there you go. Yeah, you'd settle for Tyrone Mings, says Kate Cadet. You wouldn't buy him over Timber or Torres. Yeah, fair play to you, J-Blood. So if he was a lot of money, you wouldn't necessarily buy him over Torres. That's a fair point. Torres does look exciting, actually. He's a very good player. I mean, he's good against us when we've seen him, when we've played them, but he's also, from a bunch of the games I've seen this season, he's been pretty damn solid for them. He's helped Villarreal get to the Champions League semis and stuff. He's the right age. He's the right sort of player. He puts his body on the line. He's more of an old school type centre back that I kind of like. He's tough and robust and gets in the way, gets those blocks off, and he's quick to react, unlike Mr. Slappington Maguire, it seems. I mean, the fact is, we couldn't do much worse at the moment. Yes, he did cost a lot of money, but he is actually terrible. Let me just show you this, guys. This is absolutely pitiful, by the way. It makes me feel kind of sick to the stomach. But guess who? Oh, in fact, let me just see if I can get this up on the screen, guys. Because this is actually kind of sickening, man. Let me just show you this stat here, guys. Okay, so credit to whoscored.com for this. But as you can see, what does this say? What does this say? Harry Maguire has committed the most errors leading to an opposition shot on goal out of all midfielders. Outfielders, not midfielders. Out of all outfielders, every player on the out of the field, every player on the field other than the goalkeeper, that means, since the start of last season in the Premier League. Excuse me? What? Harry Maguire has committed the most errors leading to an opposition shot on goal of all outfielders since the start of last season in the Premier League. That's right. He's that shit. It's not a surprise though, is it, guys? That's right. Not a surprise, Fire Up, because he makes an error every single bloody week for us, guys. Shocking, says Night Whisper. He's just that bad, Chico Goblin. I know, mate. That's absolutely fucking shocking, isn't it? Out of all the players in the Premier League. And that's not even this season, by the way, guys. I'm sorry to say, that's not even this season. That's over the course of nearly 2 seasons now. That is since the start of last season in the Premier League. So that's actually nearly 2 full seasons of stats there, guys. That's quite a lot of data to work with there, guys. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my goodness. Ashley Penny says, Harry, oh, Harry. Shocking, isn't it? Just so you know, look at the rest of the list. Look at the rest of the list, guys. It's sickening reading. By the way, look at the rest of the list. So this is the top 10 since the 2020-21 Premier League season, right? Including this season. And you've got Harry Maguire sitting firmly atop of the list, right? Harry Maguire sitting firmly atop of the list. But guess who's in second place? Well, it's that Serbian man. It's the Nemanja Matic. He's also a bit of a shit-the-bed merchant, it seems. But he's actually been a bit better for us, though. Gabriel at Arsenal's a shitter. Davinson Sanchez gashing it up at Spurs. Adam Webster's absolutely gashing it up at Brighton there. Luke Ayling's shitting the bed. It's Tyrone Mings, James Tarkowski. You've also got Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka on there. So 3 out of the 4 Manchester United defenders are all on the list for the most errors leading to an opposition shot for 2 full seasons. That's fucking awful, isn't it, guys? I'm sorry to say. That's absolutely embarrassing. Statistics only tell you so much. Of course they do, but come on, that tells you a lot. That tells you a lot, guys. It's pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusting. I mean, also, they also only tell you so much as well, because actually analyse this. So, if you actually look at the appearances that Harry Maguire's had, he's made 62 appearances in that time. He's had 7 errors that have led to an opposition shot directly. But Nemanja Matic has had 6 in 39, so a lot less. And then also you look at, Tyrone Mings, Tarkowski, they're players who've had more appearances, but a lot less errors. So Maguire's stats are no doubt still shit. But maybe this list does, because he has had quite a lot of appearances, whereas Gabriel's had 10 less. Davinson Sanchez has had a lot less, but he's got, comparatively more. So, you have to say he maybe, if you were talking about actual per game, on a per capita per game basis here, maybe he wouldn't be the worst. But on this list, but still though, Tarkowski and Mings, if you look at those guys who've played more games than him, they've still made less errors. So he is still an error-prone melt, whichever way you look at it. That's 100% true. He's a fucking melter. He's got to go. It's time to go. But that is very concerning, guys. That does make me feel a little bit on the vomiters side of things, mate. That we've got all these melters and 4 in the list. You're going to retract your Tyrone Mings appraisal, says Kate Cadet. Slabhead's going to Newcastle for 40 minutes, says Abjev. Come on! Make it happen! I really hope that happens, but I could see that. I could see a world where that happens. Right, let me get into the rest of the news, guys. So, yes, Ten Hag era, centre-back signing likely very much incoming, and it probably will be the most likely player that he signs right away. Also, Ajax winger Antony is linked with Manchester United. It's understood that, the Telegraph in Netherlands understood that he's quite keen on taking the next step in his career this summer when the season comes to an end, sort of hinting at the fact that he's going to be, moving. And so, Manchester United is obviously number 1 on the list right now of destinations where he could go to because of the links with Ten Hag, because of the fact Ten Hag's here at the club. And he's got that current link with him where he's managing him right now. He's only 22, Brazilian vibes, really good stats in terms of assists and decent goals as well. Good young player. Is he ready for the hustle and bustle and rough and tumble of the Premier League? Well, maybe. I mean, we could definitely do worse. He seems like a good player. I've not watched a lot of Ajax, but he does look like a good player, and he's only 22. He's somebody that, as a prospect, would be a good signing, I think, for the right price. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you would like to see Antony signed from Ajax in this summer transfer window. Let me know. Hopefully Maguire will be sold in the summer, says Johnny M. Oh, hell yeah. He needs to go, mate. We need to get about £2.50 back to try and use that in the transfer window. Extra cash, bit of cash back, £2.50 back in the back burner there. Maguire thinks he's actually good, says Big Old Bob. That interview he did the other day was actually scum-worthy, wasn't it? He said, I wouldn't be getting in the team week to week if I wasn't good. I don't know why he gets in the team week to week. I mean, he's kind of got a point maybe that the managers obviously think they're good, but why do the managers think that? They're off their head. I think maybe there is a level of puppetry that's going on at Man United from the board above and the decision-making filtering down and saying that, well, this guy's an £80 million asset. Play him to the end of the season at least, then we'll get rid of this twat. But let's keep his stock as high as possible. They're not really doing that, though, because week to week is just making gaff after gaff. And if anything, his stock's going through the floor. So, but either way, Anthony, thank you. Anthony is quality, says Roshmano. Lots of 1s coming in the live chat for Anthony. Hey, 0793, what's going on, boss? He says, you'll sell him to Newcastle for 40 minutes and he'll play like a demon and be the best defender ever. Oh, well, maybe he would suit a different style. That's the thing. Somebody could get the best out of him. Southgate did well with him in England. Maybe if you're playing like a counter-style 3 at the back system, maybe he's a good option. But, yeah. Gary Neville has been talking about Ten Hag. He said, but honestly, I wouldn't be putting too much pressure on Ten Hag in the first 1 or 2 years to win a trophy at the club. It would be great if he did, but he'd be overachieving, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think that's sort of the sentiment we have to all realistically share this next season coming up. We're not going to win anything, guys. It's a rebuilding season. We have to get a whole new team, players out. He needs time to develop the team and the squad in every single way, the youth players. So I think that's what we have to sort of get behind, the fact that this season we shouldn't expect too much. Okay, so he's also been outside, arriving, in Amsterdam for training, and he has been taking no questions. So reporters and stuff try to get a piece of him. Of course, as he's going in, he's just not taking any questions, driving past, stone cold stunning people and giving them the fingers and giving him a hell yeah as he goes by. He looks so much like Stone Cold in this video, though. It's unreal. Anyway, I'm just saying, we've got Stone Cold Erik ten Hag coming to the club. He's not answering any questions. He's focused on Ajax, of course, at the moment. But he is on the blower to Manchester United, of course, sort of doing, well, pre-planning and in liaison with people at Manchester United about some decision-making that's going on. That is what we understand, that he's already, having some sort of dialogue with people at Manchester United, of course, to try and sort of put some things in place for when he starts. Also, Paul Mitchell, not Phil Mitchell's brother, now of Monaco and formerly of Leipzig and Tottenham Hotspur, has spoken to United about a role. He would want total control over recruitment, though, and that may not fit in the structure. So this is what's been reported from a source today. And look, it would be very good for us to get more football people in who've got ability in, sporting director type roles, technical roles at this football club who can actually have a proven track record of doing good stuff. So I think, yes, we need to get more people in like this. We also could do with getting some United-related people in, whether it be coaches. We're talking about Ten Hag. He's obviously bringing Mitchell van der Gaag with him, his current assistant at Ajax, it seems. And also maybe there'll be other coaches coming in, such as, well, Steve McLaren could come in and be an assistant, some sort of I don't know, that's also a discussion. Robin Van Persie's being talked about, but maybe that would be an issue with visa, I've heard, or something like that. But there you go. So we'll have to wait and see. Fabrizio Romano said that it's a deputy director of football will be part of the decisions that will be made in the coming weeks. So, Paul Mitchell could be incoming in terms of like, deputy director of football or something like that. It is much needed at this football club. We need some direction. Obviously, Rangnick's going into a consultancy role as well and an advisory role, and that's great. But how hands-on is he going to be? How many days a week is he going to be committing to United, etc.? These are all, we need people who are also just going to be running this football club. We need to get the hierarchy sorted out as well. That's it. This isn't just a rebuild job right now this summer of the squad and the playing squad and the manager. It's also a rebuild of just like the backroom staff, the hierarchy, that even, like just people in technical roles of this football club. We've got to get some better people in. We've seen Ed Woodward recently, obviously in January, thankfully get the fuck out of our football club. And now we've got new people in. Well, hopefully we're going to start seeing a new era at Manchester United. Okay, just an update we've got on Manchester United in regards to Dutch players, though. So it's also understood that Manchester United right now are not overly enamoured with the prospect of signing players from the Eredivisie, just in general, just because of our experience with signing players from the Eredivisie recently. So you got players like Memphis Depay, who we signed, who was a bit of a flop at Manchester United as well. Maybe he was done a little bit dirty at United, but he just didn't really keep up to date. Donny van der Beek came in, obviously, and has sort of shattered the bed a little bit, really, with, well, he's not really actually had that many chances, but let's face it, it's not exactly set the world alight at United or Everton. Anybody else you can think of, guys? I'm trying to think. We have had some good Dutch players, obviously, but not directly from the Eredivisie, like Robin van Persie. Oh, Daley Blind. Daley Blind we signed from the Eredivisie, didn't we, back in the day? And he did all right. But there you go. Kurt Koenig says, Eredivisie Division of Honor. I like your style, man. I like your style. Paul Story says, if this Maguire's a good player, you never played football. That's right. If you think Maguire's a good player, he's not. He's absolutely not a good player, mate. Right, we've got 130 likes on the stream, 217 legends in here. Thank you all for joining this afternoon, little afternoon show. We'll be back tonight with a preview show at 9 p.m. as well. We're still going to get into it and have a Q&A at the end of this vid as well. And I've got a few more actual bits of news and stuff to talk about before I do that. A lot of stuff coming out today, guys. A lot of stuff coming out today. So, yeah, we could well not be that interested with bringing in that many Dutch players just because, well, they haven't really done too well for us. But maybe they will because of Ten Hag. Blind was good. I agree, Kate Cadet, and he's still decent. He's 32. Rude, oh yeah, Rushmono from PSV Eindhoven, 19 winning quid, absolute steal, son. Blind was good. Hey, Talk MU, how are you doing, boss? Great to see you, mate. Yeah, Johnny M. Ulf says he has to do what Fergie did with the academy players, I think, bro. You likely have some worldies in the academy setup, maybe 3 or 4. Definitely, mate. So this is my personal philosophy. And I hope Ten Hag's got a similar philosophy this summer. Right, I think we should get rid of all the players we've discussed getting rid of, all the guys whose contracts are running out and who are want away and who are shit. Get rid of all of them. And then sign 5 players, key players, first team players. Centre-back, 2 midfielders, winger, striker. I'm talking good players here as well. Big investment. But then, bring a few players in from the youth setup. Mengi, allow him to come into the setup, get a few games here and there, develop. Allow Garner, who's doing well at Nottingham Forest and looking really good, to come in and be a midfield option. Allow players like Medjbri to be coming into the side. Obviously, you've still got Alanga, who's going to be featuring and developing, and he's still young. Lots of other players too. Diallo coming back on loan, maybe he'll be featuring. Stuff like, just let's start introducing them to the squad. I couldn't agree more. He's got to start developing these great prospects that we've got and turn them into great players. You see other teams do it. Why can Liverpool do it? Why can they develop players like Trent and, they bought Robertson Young and, developed them and all this? Why can they seem to do it and we can't? Why does City even do it with players like Foden and stuff? Okay, we have done it a bit over the years with Rashford. Greenwood came through, obviously, and Langer this season, but it's not like we don't do it enough. We need to see a few new players come in. In fact, you look at sort of what Arteta has done at Arsenal. We need to be as drastic as that, really. They spent a lot last summer, 150 million. They've even done things like axe off Aubameyang for a free when he's still got time left on his contract. Kind of unheard of stuff. Just to get him gone, just to free up the money, just to start a new era. That's the sort of thing that they're doing at Arsenal. They're actually just sacking off players, even though they're still under contract. So Arsenal have actually terminated 6 contracts in the past 15 months alone, to basically accelerate a rebuilding process. So, they've been quite ruthless with doing that, guys. That's what United need to do. Take no more shit. I mean, that's what I don't get. Phil Jones, why couldn't you just let him go for a free now? Even if nobody wants to buy him. Or let him go somewhere and pay some of his wages. Like, just cut your losses now. Like, that's the thing. Just cut your fucking losses now. Problem is, I think United have just been so easy giving out contracts over the years. There's some players who are like, hang on a sec, I'm getting paid 100 grand a week here to do nout, to just sit on my Todd, do a bit of training, and hardly play, and just, I don't know if they've got the true ambition to want to leave and play. There was talks of Phil Jones being offered a loan move to a French club in the summer. He didn't want to go. Well, that's no good, is it? You've got to have a bit of ambition. You've got to want to play. So it is on some of the players as well, but there you go. Arsenal paid 6 million to sign Obus as Alpha Metro. I mean, they've made some good signings. Absolutely. I mean, they did make a lot of investment in the summer just gone as well. 150 mil. They spent the most in the league. Well, this summer we need to spend the most in the league. We need to be spending. If we can get Rudiger on a free, that would be amazing. If we could sign Neves for 40 million, 45, 50 million, that would be good. If we could sign Tielemans for similar, and then you're not really left with that much money. But maybe you could get Anthony. Maybe you get Darwin Nunes as well if you can sell a couple of players like Martial, get a few players off your books as well. Like, surely we're going to have a shitload of money to spend in this summer transfer window. It is going to be the busiest transfer window, I think, for a long time, because United need literally, a minimum of 5 players, I think, for the first team. And so because of that, I think it'll be quite busy. But I think we'll do what 0793 did, suggested, or what I said in regards to my plan as well, from what he said, which is that we should do what we previously did, which is bring youngsters for as well. I absolutely think we should do that. So we should sign a bunch of players, but we shouldn't just go all out, sign 11 new players. I think we should start to produce some of our own talents too. And some of them aren't good enough. Charlie McNeil says Neil Duffin. There you go. Agreed, Piggo. Just do your job as a player. Don't be lazy, says Night Whisper. Spot on. Thank you, Rush Mano. He says subscribe to the channel. Yeah, guys, if you're new to this show, please do get yourself in here by dropping the like, hitting the subscribe, and having your say. So, bit of information there, guys, for you. So I'm pretty much going to get into the live chat. So if you're just joining us today, we're just talking about Ralph Rangnick's presser, his thoughts on Ten Hag, which all seem very positive, and also updates on, a couple of players that are linked to Manchester United. It seems like a centre-back is high priority for Ten Hag. Players like Rudiger are linked, but he's also linked with other moves to different clubs. He's also just being linked to maybe trying to just do this to get a big contract at Chelsea. So we have to wait and see. But they're sort of in the position where can they even do this business at the moment, really? We have to wait and see. They're in a bit of an upheaval at the moment, Chelsea Football Club. So that could play into our hands or play into different teams' hands to sign a really good player on a free. We've also linked with Pau Torres, of course, at Villarreal. We're linked with Jurriën Timber, of course, at Ajax. And the other big link is Akanji at Dortmund at this moment in time. But then there's still other centre-backs that are linked, such as Jules Koundé and many others. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on. But one thing's for sure, hashtag Maguire out Let's get this guy out of the football club, my friend. Hashtag slab you out. Let's get some Easter Island head emojis in there. It's time to go for the Slabinator. It really is. We've all had enough of him. We know that he's terrible. And those statistics there in the bottom right-hand corner just show that. He's an error-prone melt. He makes lots of errors, man. Also, big news, Paul Pogba's unlikely to play for the rest of the season. Rangnick gave us an update on that. He's had a scan on his calf, and apparently he's going to be out for at least a month, which means he'll probably never play for Manchester United again. Get in there, my son! Come on! Time to get the guff out, and time to get some actual Man United players in! Get in! That doesn't concern me one bit. Plus, maybe it means that we have to play some of these youngsters now. He has to chuck somebody else in there and give him a chance, rather than just going to Paul Pogba. Well, now Pogba's out for the rest of the season. Ralphie's got to play somebody else. It's good. He'll probably end up playing Fred and McTominay, but still. Okay, there you go. That's pretty much it, guys. And also, so centre-back links, and also the other rest of the links as well. Fitness updates as well. We got some fitness updates, guys. Your update on Fred. Oh, thank you so much, Rushmano, for sending this through. We got a late update on Fred. We got Fred, Shaw, and Cavani. So some quotes on this. Ralph said, Fred, we don't know. Hopefully it'll be an option for the game against Chelsea, but tomorrow, no. So Fred is unlikely. Luke Shaw could miss the rest of the season like Pogba as well. He said Luke Shaw probably not, with his bolts and screws being removed from his leg. I don't see him coming back for the next 4 weeks either. So Luke Shaw also out for the rest of the season, guys, it seems like. Alex Telles, Diogo Dalot and Wan-Bissaka have all filled in for Luke's position recently. And he also said Edinson Cavani is training with our physios and coaches, but as of yet, he hasn't been able to train with a team, declared Ralph. So Cavani won't be featuring, but maybe some positive news in regards to Cavani that he could be coming back before the end of the season. But then again, he's basically gone out the door anyway, isn't he? So there you go. That's some latest update there from Rushmano. Absolute top don. Thank you so much. Wow, okay. We've also got a late update here, guys, that maybe Mitchell van der Gaag. Wait a second. So there's a report this afternoon that says Mitchell van der Gaag. This is from Jonathan Schrager, who's a pretty good source man, you know. And he says Mitchell van der Gaag has been offered the managerial role at Ajax, but his preference is to join Erik ten Hag at Manchester United. So will he go and be a number one, or will he be a number two still? I think judging by this, it seems like, the conversation is, well, it's a bigger club at Manchester United, of course. Is he ready to manage Ajax? I don't know. That's quite interesting, though. Maybe his assistant has actually been offered the job there then, it seems. Quite interesting, guys, quite interesting. So Mitchell van der Gaag maybe has been offered a job as a managerial role at Ajax, but his preference is to join Erik ten Hag at United. This is via Jonathan Traeger. Thank you very much for that update there, Rushmano, top man. Right, guys, I'm going to get into the live chat for a few minutes. Thanks to all the legends that are in here. Really appreciate you joining. Shout out to the Bacon Brigade, getting in here raw and getting in the chat. Tammy Abraham from Manchester United says, El Costas. No, thank you. Shaw needs to retire after that injury he had in 2015. Bit harsh, Malps. He was actually really great for us last season. I wouldn't say he needs to retire. I just think really he's nothing better than a squad player for us. And if he doesn't want to be a squad player for us, then he sort of has to go somewhere else. We do need to do better there, really. He's a good player, but we do need to do better there. I will follow you comments. Can Varane be trusted to play full season? He has been injured this season. For me, it's better to sign Rudiger and Pau Torres. Man City have plenty of world-class centre-backs on the bench. A great shout, I will follow you. I like that comment. We have to be proactive with our depth as well. You're absolutely right. And if we actually did do some business, well, let's say we just did something drastic, which I hope we do, which is getting rid of most of our centre-backs. Phil Jones somehow leaves the club. Maguire gets sold. Bailly goes. If that happens, then I don't see why we couldn't maybe sign a couple of centre-backs. But it does depend on who goes and how much money is generated from the sales of these players. But I do think that, yeah, definitely. That actually sounds pretty good. I mean, the thing is with Varane, he's a Rolls Royce of a player. He is a quality player. He's like an old 1970s Rolls Royce, though. He's a beautiful car, but he's going to break down quite regularly. He's going to need servicing, and parts are going to be expensive, and it's going to take its time. They're going to be off the road for a little while. Like it's a bit like that. He's like an old sort of Rolls Royce Silver Shadow or something. He's an absolute elite car in the day, but he's just a fucking breakdown merchant. That's the problem with him. But hopefully he can stay fit for longer next season. But I agree with you, man. You cannot rely on Raphael Varane. When he's fit, he's kind of got to play because he's clearly our best centre-back. and he has done some amazing things throughout his career. But he's always going to have these little problems and these little injuries and constantly be on and off the physio table, man. So I totally agree with you. It is a bit of a concern. Yes, Ronaldo will play tomorrow, Lee Everett. Yes, indeed. At this moment, it seems like, yes, absolutely. We're going to do a late night preview with team news to see who's turned up at the hotel and all that sort of stuff around about 9 p.m. So make sure you guys come and tune in for the team news later on this evening, because we'll give you all the squad info of who's been pictured arriving, etc. Am I watching Tyson Fury if he did in white? I probably will do, Joshua Whitfield. Might do a cheeky watch along before the FIFA on this channel for it. We'll see. Maybe not. We need a new back four, says Jonathan Gallagher. Yeah, fair point, fair point. Will Jones go this summer, says Malps. Probably not, mate, because he's just on a cushy deal at Manchester United. I don't see why he would really want to go, because he gets paid a shitload of money. Unless United want to let him go somewhere else and then pay some of his wages. Nobody else is going to pay him the wages we're paying him, because nobody else is that stupid. You think should be 100% in for Basuma, says seriously? Yeah, I think so. He's a decent player as well. He's a not bad option, and he's a good, cheap player, actually, seriously. You could probably get him for 35, 40 mil, which is cheaper. But then again, there's so many midfield options with Premier League experience, like Ruben Neves, Tielemans, who are better, in my opinion. But definitely Basuma is a very, very good player also. Yeah, Axel Twenzeebe should be part of the team for next season. Interesting, Ashley Bailey. Well, I'd rather see him given a deputising role and playing games than, Maguire, in all fairness. Transfer update from Rush Mana. Let's have a little look see at this. So thank you very much. So, oh wow. Okay, so there's a new coach. There's a new coach that has been. What's this? Wait a second. Let me read this. Oh, nice. Adam William, I'm delighted to be starting a new role as a full-time emerging talent academy coach at United. It's an opportunity to work with some incredible players and coaches. We've got a new talent academy coach. That's quite interesting. Also, Ten Hag wants to keep Marcus Rashford. This is a late report. We've got also. And Man United are considering extending Marcus Rashford's contract until 2026. I mean, why? How could you possibly be talking about extending Rashford's contract at the moment? How ridiculous is that? But that is a report we've got coming in that Ten Hag wants to keep Marcus Rashford at United. Don't know much about that, guys, whether or not that's, in terms of like the 2026 contract discussion. That seems a little bit crazy to be talking about signing him up. He's got to prove himself first. Yeah, I'd keep him around the club. And I think Ten Hag could get the best out of him again next season if he sort of puts an arm around him and revitalises him. And there's a new system and a new team and a new style. I think he could do well, but there's absolutely no point. There's no justification for giving him a new contract right now. He needs to prove himself next season. Then at the end of next season, we can talk about a new contract. It's pretty ridiculous to suggest giving Marcus Rashford a new contract right now. I mean, that Bruno Fernandes contract was weird timing. I get it. He's on peanuts money. You want to keep him happy. Well, okay, but there's no permanent manager there. We got to make the decision from the new manager, surely. He would probably want to keep Bruno, I'm sure, but it was a strange time and strange timing for us to do that, in my opinion. Okay, we're also understood to be monitoring Crystal Palace French winger Michael Elise as well. The player has a contract until 2026. Just some more transfer news coming out. And we've already understood to have begun discussions. We haven't even talked about this today as well. Thanks, Rushmana. Already begun discussions on a deal to work on Calvin Phillips, apparently. So, there's some obstacles there. Apparently him being a lead scummer is one of the biggest obstacles. But United have an interest in bringing in Calvin Phillips because he may be available for the right amount of money, 40 or 50 million pounds, maybe a maximum. So for that reason, maybe that's another player that's linked. Again, he would be a good option. Maybe there's better options, but we just need to sort of get players. He is somebody that's linked. I would rather see us go get one of the other midfielders I mentioned personally, but I think he is a good player, and he's a good, robust player who works very hard, got an engine on him, industrious, more of a sort of United-style player that we need, where he actually fights. That's what we need, more players with a bit of character. I would take somebody like him over, Paul Pogba any day of the week, in all fairness. Also, Darwin Nunes and Richarlison are other players, that are very linked with Manchester United right now too. Darwin Nunes and Richarlison. Richarlison's got those Premier League links, and they're being spoken about in Manchester United internally. That's what Fabrizio Romano has said, and give us an update that they're being discussed internally. Richarlison and Darwin Nunes. Out of the two of them guys, who would you like to see signed? Richarlison or Darwin Nunes? For me, it's got to be Darwin Nunes, just because I've seen Richarlison in the Premier League, and he's okay, and he's pretty good, and sometimes he's been good, but he's also kind of bang average too. Like he doesn't really blow me away. So yeah, not too keen on him, to be honest. He's okay. Try Nunes, says Jonathan Gallagher. Right. Also, another update's just come in. William Gallas quotes. Oh, interesting. So remember ex-Arsenal player William Gallas, French vibes. He's come out and he said Pogba is not mentally strong enough. And his performances show he's not strong enough to be consistent for one season. He only did it when he was at Juventus, and then he joined Man United. Ooh, Gallas going in there raw, son. Some William Gallas quotes on Pogba say he's not mentally strong enough. His performances show he's not strong enough to be consistent for one season. He only did it when he was at Juventus, and then he joined Man United. Nice. Yeah, we've been linked to Richarlison for 5 seasons. It's true. Well, everyone in the live chat, Paul Story, Susan Lively, Sue, how you doing there? Eamon Barrett, Jonathan Gallagher, seems that we'd like to go for Darwin Nunes. I think that's true as well. He's 22, scores a shitload of goals. I mean, let's just have a look at his goal record this season over at Benfica. It's quite unbelievable, actually, what his goal record is. Fair play to him. So, this is what he scored this season. Let's just have a look at his stats. In fact, let's have a look at all seasons. But for this season, 25 in Liga Portugal with 4 assists. So literally scored a goal every single game. A goal every single game for them in the Portuguese league this season and 4 assists. But in the Champions League, quite telling also. 10 appearances in the Champions League. Bear in mind, Benfica are a good team, but they're not one of the best in the Champions League. 10 games, 6 goals. Very, very impressive this season. Last season, not so impressive, actually. More assists, though. More assists than goals. So maybe, I don't know what was going on in Liga NOS for Benfica last season. Maybe he was just played in more of a supporting role or more on a wide role, which is why he's got a lot more assists than goals last season. But this season, he's been scoring the goals, 25 and 4 assists. So he's clearly the goal scorer of the team this season, whereas last season maybe had more of a supporting role. So there you go. Very impressive stats. Very impressive stats. I'm interested. And I would like to see him come in, absolutely. And he could be available for... Well, we don't really know. There's some reports that it could be 50, 60, 70 million euros. That's only about 40, 50 million pounds. It seems like a decent acquisition from United for the money when you consider that he's got a really good prospect and really good future in the game. Nice one. Nice one. Okay, yes, I mentioned that one. Absolutely brilliant. Get in there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, by the way. 153 likes. We're just going to stay on here for a couple more minutes. Get your final thoughts and opinions in the live chat. Let's have a bit of a Q&A. Thank you, Andy Nuttall, for subscribing, and Amir Bashar as well. You absolute legend. Getting you, Don. The new Cavani, says Paul Story. Nunes is fierce. We need aggression, says Ashley Bailey. Spot on, mate. Need a bit of passion, a little bit of fire, a little bit of bollocks at this football club. Obi Raymond says, yeah, you'd like to see Darwin as well. Disco Dave says, question, Piggy, if Maguire does go or is stripped, who would you give the captaincy to? Okay, so for me personally, I would give it to Ronaldo, mate, if he's still here until he goes. I would give it to Ronaldo until he goes. He's the best leader we've got, mate. He's the most determined player we've got. He's a passionate player. You can see he running around. I like his role in the club. He's somewhat of a father figure these days to some of these youngsters. Look at that moment. That was one of the nicest moments where he scored that goal that Anthony Elanga put on a plate for him the other day. And he scored that goal, didn't he? It was against Norwich, wasn't it? Yeah. He scored the one against Norwich, the first one. And Elanga made it for him. And he's like saying, come over here and celebrate with me. Come over here and celebrate with me. Do the Sue with me. Do the double Sue with me, mate. You know, like, you can just see he's a very encouraging person, but he's also somebody who requires a certain standard from his teammates. But he's going to give you the love when you do what you should be doing. And I think that it's important to have somebody who expects a high standard. The captain should be somebody that themselves sets a really high standard with their performances on and off the pitch as well, and how they conduct themselves off the pitch. But also, it should be somebody that is actually, is really good, but also actually, shows them to be good leaders within the team, encouraging, but also, demanding of a certain standard. And he definitely does that. But then after that, maybe Bruno Fernandes is a really good candidate for that. Boubacar Kamara, exactly, I will follow you. Why haven't United signed him? Exactly, I will follow you. Fair play. He would be a good option too and could be available for cheap. There's a few players like that. Haidara over in the Bundes as well, another reasonably cheap option. There's a few players like that, man. Right, okay. Eddie's Football Waffle, what's going on, mate? He says, good day to all of you. How you doing there, Eddie's Football Waffle? Hope you're good today. Big God Bob says, Hannibal the Cannibal for captain after last game. Respect. No Toes comments, how can we realistically raise in sales to supplement our budget? Because it's going to be an expensive rebuild. Right, I personally think the budget that the Glazers should hand over, in my opinion, should be 150 million. That probably won't happen, but Arsenal spent that last year, so why not? And then also, if you look at who we could sell to generate more cash, or at least add to the kitty, let's say they give us 100 million. Let's just say they give us 100 million, and then you've got to sell the rest of the players to generate cash. Martial could go to generate some cash. Bailly could go to generate some cash. Maguire can go to generate some cash. Dean Henderson can go to generate some cash. Matic and Mata can go. Matic's contract ends at the. I think their contracts. I think they're just free, aren't they? But there's a bunch of players I've just named there. 5 players. I mean, Henderson's not a cheap player. 20, 30 million quid it would take for somebody to buy him. He's a good standard goalkeeper, definitely. Maguire, 40 million. But 40 million maybe from Newcastle if they're mugs. Then you've also got like Martial. Don't really know how much you get for Martial because he's on a lot of money and he's not really worth it. So I don't know. Yeah, but 30, 40 million you would think for Tony Martial. So that's a lot of money to generate and get off the books. Plus then you're saving. Think about this. United, just without doing anything in the summer, are saving £1 million a week, which is £52 million a year. Because we've got Pogba off the books, that's 300k. You've got Lingard off the books, that's 100k. You've got Cavani off the books, that's a couple 100k. You've got who else? There's a couple of others, right? Who else is leaving? Oh, Matic, that's I don't really know what Matic is on. I'm guessing like 150k or something, maybe even a bit less. But Matic, maybe a bit more. Who knows? But Matic on around about that. Think about it. That's Mata. Juan Mata's on a lot of money. Juan Mata is on quite a lot of money. Think about that. That's £1 million a week saved right there. So just those players going without having to do anything, we're saving a lot of money. Yeah, Rush Mono says Mata's on 160k. So those guys who were on a lot of money at Manchester United will be able to go out the door, and that's £1 million a week saved. You do need to redistribute that and sign new players and pay their wages. I totally get that. But the players we sign, they're not going to get paid as much as those guys. Pogba 300k and stuff. So you will have some money to spend based on just recouping money from wages. Susan says Ronaldo has a high standard and he has the mental game. Most of the rest need to up their standards and their mental game. So true, that's it. He sets a great example on and off the pitch. He's so professional. He treats his body like a Ferrari. He doesn't put anything in it that's going to harm him, it seems. He's super professional. Don't drink Coca-Cola and all the rest of it, or drink water, he said, actually. That's the sort of guy he is. He's a great example, man. He's a great example that the rest of the squad should follow. And his standard is, who's got a higher standard than Ronaldo in the game of football? He's got the highest standard over the years. That's why he's achieved what he's achieved in the game, because he sets the highest standard for himself and of his team. Superstar, we need 2 forwards because the Greenwood issue and Cavani leaving, says Superstar. Could well be. I could see that happening. We spent a lot buying Ronaldo, says Obi Raymond. I mean, we didn't. We spent a lot on wages, right? But the actual initial fee was only about, I think, 12 million, which is nothing for Ronaldo. But he's on huge money. He is on huge money every single week. But then we also recouped a lot from shirt sales and stuff. I don't think they spent as much as you might think on him. He's been a commercial success of a deal as well. You think, by the way, Hendo, Martial, Matic, Williams, etc. Oh, yeah, Brandon Williams as well would probably be sold, Mark Wallace. That's true. And what about even one of the wing-backs? We got 4 wing-backs. Ten Hag might want to buy a new wing-back, either left-back or right-back. You could maybe see Tellez sold. Hell, Luke Shaw. Hell, Wan-Bissaka could be sold. You just don't know. Dallo could be sold. He was being linked heavily with a move to AC Milan a little while ago. You just don't know. Who knows what Ten Hag wants to do, but he has got options to get rid of players, definitely. Ronaldo's worth it, says Eamon Barron. So true, man. I find it amazing that Ronaldo, having come in with a few games of the season already gone, has got 15 league goals this season. And a lot of those games from United have been crap. And he's scored them in a bunch of hat tricks and stuff. But even so, just to be third on the goal scorers list in the league right now, behind Salah and Son, I think it is, where, considering how bad United have been, I'd say that goes to show you what a good player he still is. Yeah, Ronaldo recovered the investment in 1 week, says Matthias Cruz. Spot on. Johnny M says sell Maguire to Newcastle. Anybody who have the twat. Funksire says Anthony incoming. Yeah, it does look like Anthony from Ajax could be one of Ten Hag's first signings at this moment. We don't know for sure. It depends on, he needs to see, of course, the squad and what his plans are and get to work. But it does look like Anthony is a target for him. Thank you, Ventislav Vladov, for subscribing to the channel. Welcome aboard. Absolutely, Jonathan. We need more players with Elanga's attitude. Tellez has the Pickup Bob says Tellez has the athleticism of Maguire on spite. That's a disservice to Tellez, that is, my son. Robin says, imagine Ronnie's stats in City. So true. He would be the number 1 goal scorer in the league if he was playing up top for Manchester City this season. I'm 100% sure of that. The first thing the Glazers done when Ronaldo signed, the share price went up. They took 100 million out. That's right, Paul Story. They did sell, so the share prices went up, and they sold an option in their stock to generate cash that had just been made by inflating the share price. You see, so that's exactly it. They made their money back straight away on that, man. But Eddie's Football Waffle, I think Saka and Odegaard, Smith Rowe are going to enjoy themselves. They have such good chemistry. Unfortunately, says Eddie's Football Waffle. Interesting. Yeah, they are really playing well at the moment as well. Hey, you know what, though? My personal opinion on the Arsenal game tomorrow is we're going to smash them up. People writing us off and saying we're the underdogs and all that. That's BS. We're just as likely to win the game as they are. They're only a few points ahead. They're a bunch of bottle merchants as well. They've had a game closer to Saturday than we have as well. A tough game where they expelled a lot of energy also. I just feel like we've got a good chance smashing them up. But hey, look, it's 50-50 game in my book. But come on, United. I'm going to do that later, actually, Johnny M. Score predictions. I'm going to do a proper preview later about 9 o'clock with the latest team news. When the players have arrived at the hotel, we've got more information on it and stuff. So I'm going to come back and do that later. But guys, I'm going to wrap this video up right here then. I want to say thank you to every single one of you legends for tuning in. There's still 193 of you absolute legends watching. But it's nearly an hour and a half we've been rambling on here, so I better end the stream. But thank you so much for tuning in. I try to keep these news videos shorter than at least a game of football. You know what I mean, guys? So we'll leave it there. But you're a bunch of fucking legends. Rushmano says, top show, guys. Thank you so much, Rushmano. Thank you, No Toes. Susan Lively Sue. Yes, we'll hopefully get the dub tomorrow. Difficult game to call. True, JW92. Excellent. Thank you, Johnny M. Thank you, Matthias Cruz, No Toes, Johnny Gallagher, Susan, Eddie's Football Waffle, Mark Wallace. Shout out to Eddie's Football Waffle, by the way, guys. Hey, put a link to your channel in the live chat there, Eddie. Eddie's a content creator. He does football videos. He's trying to grow a channel. Much love, Eddie. Hey, everyone, thank you so much. Yeah, and do as Eddie's Football Waffle says. Smash that like button if you haven't. Thank you, Paul Story. Thank you, Johnny M. Much love. I hope you enjoyed the stream, guys. Really appreciate you all watching. Thank you. I will follow you. Appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe and drop the like on the video, but also hit the bell icon so you get a notification when we post to go live, which is every day. Make sure you click the bell so you do get those notificaciones through. Follow us on social media as well at Flying Pig United on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. The website is unitedflyandhigh.com as well. So please do come and join us. Also, you can come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in. We've got 169 likes. Get in there, dudes. Also, preview coming back later tonight on the channel around about 9 o'clock with the latest evening's team news as well to see what the squad is likely to be tomorrow. Predictions for the game, late comments and all sorts of stuff from people in the footballing world. And any news as well. We'll cover it tonight. So come back around about 9 p.m. We'll be back then. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to go get me some grub. I'm absolutely Hank Marvin over here, guys. See you in a bit, guys. That's it from me. Stay classy. Oh, let me end that poll, actually. So, Rudiger, 52% of the live chat would like to see Rudiger, probably because he's available on a free. It does make sense. He may well sign a new contract at Chelsea. He might go to one of those other clubs that we've mentioned, but in my opinion, that would be an excellent signing for us too. Guys, thanks for watching the stream. See you later on. Have a great day. And if I missed any of you in the live chat, my bad. I try to get everybody involved, such as Ivan Smith there. Vinny Bullock as well. Have a great day. Have a good day, guys. Come back afterwards. Get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comment section. Have your say. We want to keep the debate going. So come back and get your thoughts in. And I'll speak to you there. Bye, guys. Take it easy. And come on, United. Sort your bloody lives out now. Bye, guys.